Thanks so much for tuning into Waz Up San Diego. Today, I'm joined by Sarah Strauss, the owner of Fit and Dedicated Personal Trainer. I saw you have a huge social media following on Instagram, and so grateful to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Well, thank you again. I guess we could just really kind of dive into the fitness world a little bit. That's your bread and butter. I'm big on kind of discipline and working out. It's so interesting because one thing I saw on your website is you have to incorporate it into your lifestyle so it doesn't feel like a chore. What are some of the strategies that you've seen work for people? Because if it's just diets, people go on diets, they're going to lose their 20 pounds, 30 pounds. 3 months later, they gain 25 back, or because they made a conscious effort to stay disciplined for 3 months or whatever that period of time frame is. But then the holidays come and it's, snack here, snack there, but it's really kind of changing into a lifestyle. So what successes have you seen for people?
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have all heard the stats and horror stories about things like the Biggest Loser TV show, where the first many seasons people were losing a bunch of weight at once and gaining even more back in like a third of the time. And you hear those horror stories all the time, especially in the fitness industry and on social media, people going on fad diet to fad diet, falling off, get back. So I actually started out as a personal trainer in a gym working one-on-one with people. And when you're a personal trainer in the gym, you're really just putting people through workouts. So you don't really get to explain the ins and outs of nutrition and macronutrients and dieting strategies and kind of what energy balance or calorie balance even means. And these are all things that are very, very applicable to sustainable weight loss. And generally when people think of dieting, they think of weight loss first. They don't think of building muscle mass, then cutting down, kind of just how they can look better for a certain event or a vacation, or how to get the fastest results in the least amount of time. So what I kind of built my business off of is a philosophy of building a lifestyle around your fitness goals. So say someone is already working out 3-4 times a week. They feel like they're eating clean. I'm putting that in quotation marks because clean eating is something that's going to differ person to person. There's no actual scientific meaning or science behind the term clean eating that'll help you get weight loss results. Yep. So what I do with my clients is I take a look at exactly what their current lifestyle looks like and how can we incorporate working out, moving more, and eating in a way to get them to their goals. And I don't know if you have tried any sort of diets like macro tracking or keto diet, or I can't even think of intermittent fasting, anything like that. But I do all of my nutritional coaching based off of tracking macronutrients. So do you know what that is?
No, I would love to hear a little bit. Just so you know, I'll do kind of intermittent fasting just because with my lifestyle, that's one of the easier ones to do. Stop eating after a certain time and then don't eat from a certain time and then eat when I only have an 8-hour or 10-hour window to eat. It's a lot easier. Because I have kids and work and I'm trying to balance everything, so it's nice not having to worry about what to eat and can plan that first meal and plan dinner, so it's that in between is a lot easier. But would love to hear more about how to incorporate that with what you're saying.
Yeah, the cool thing about intermittent fasting, and people get intermittent fasting a little bit confused because intermittent fasting is not a diet. It's actually just a dieting strategy because you're basically giving yourself a shorter time period to eat. So then you're actually just going to be consuming less calories throughout the entire day. And the only way scientifically to lose weight, lose body fat, is to eat in a calorie deficit, which means you're eating less than your body is naturally intaking today. So with intermittent fasting, you're giving yourself that timed window, so you're naturally going to eat less calories, which therefore gets you to your sustainable weight loss goals. And if it works for you and it works into your lifestyle, then that's great. But a lot of people can't do that because they feel like they need that sustained energy throughout the day. Some people can wake up and go for 3-4 hours without eating and they feel like they're more mentally on point. They feel like they have more natural energy in the morning. And that's amazing. For people that intermittent fasting works for, they're like diehard intermittent fasting fans.
Yeah. And I'm not a diehard by any means, but I'm like, that's me. But like what you're just saying is, I'm usually up depending anywhere between 5 and 7, usually earlier. But then, yeah, like I can go to 11 and I'm just kind of like on it. And then sometimes when I didn't plan out what I'm going to eat next and eat, I'm like, damn, get that kind of lethargic feel unless it's something super clean. So it's very interesting. But yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of where like the clean eating in quotation marks comes into play, because the types of food that you're eating, especially if you're intermittent fasting, makes a big difference in your sustained energy levels and if your blood sugar drops. So why intermittent fasting doesn't work for some people, like me personally, I wake up and I have low blood sugar. So I need to eat something, even if it's something really small. Like I'll generally wake up and just do like a coffee and add protein powder and creamer. So it's like maybe 50 to 100 calories, but it holds me over for a couple hours without getting that blood sugar drop. But some people wake up and they have so much energy and they're totally fine and they feel like they have sustained energy already. And then intermittent fasting works great for all the other benefits. I think for any diet and lifestyle change, it depends on the person, which is why coaching, in my opinion, is so much more beneficial to my clients than personal training. Personal training is awesome and it's so much fun and I love it and I still do it. But like I said, when you're personal training, you have a 30 to 50 minute window. You're going in there, you're putting someone through a workout and you're leaving. You don't, and go to the next client. Like
you're stopping by Carl's Jr. on the way home.
yeah. I mean, you don't have time to sit there and explain like, what is your calorie output? What are you doing throughout the rest of the day? Are you sedentary? Are you walking? What does a day of eating look like for you? There's just, they're paying for your time at that point. They're not paying for a lifestyle change. And with coaching, you're getting the same price pretty much as one session per week. And you're getting 5 workouts a week. You're getting nutritional guidance. You're getting weekly accountability. And that's kind of why I left the personal training world to get into like the fitness industry as a whole and go into coaching, nutritional coaching, workout coaching, doing events, social media, all of the other stuff, because I saw that the lifestyle changes are kind of what really changed people's lives as a whole.
No, absolutely. And, in a different industry as a whole, like I'm more involved in kind of the real estate world, and people aren't buying beds and baths. They're probably buying the lifestyle that where they are going to live is going to provide them. If they're beachy people, like, what is your life going to be like if you're living, in Crown Point or, versus Encinitas versus, Ocean Beach or Point Loma, because they're just so different. And I get that. That's kind of a universal thing that people are looking for.
Exactly. And I'm sure, with real estate too, like same thing as coaching, they're buying a feeling, like they're buying what they picture their life to be. And it's the same. People don't buy a workout program. They buy a coach. They want someone who's going to really support them and take them to that lifestyle change. Same thing with live. You're going to buy into where that place is going to make you feel, what it's going to inspire you to do, what it's going to motivate you to do. And it's like, that's why in San Diego, especially if you're in real estate, there's so many different areas, neighborhoods, environments. And I lived in Seattle before I came here. It's the same thing. Like you have to find the spot that like has your community and makes you motivated and inspired, which is super cool.
No, absolutely. And so how have you kind of gained that following, and kind of how are you getting your message out to people?
Yeah. So, I mean, people ask all the time, how do you get more Instagram followers? How do you get more engagement? How do you do this? How do you do this? Social media, ins and outs.
And it's not just about quantity, in my humble opinion.
It's about quality.
Yes, there's a mix, because you need a certain amount of accountability for people which helps you gain more quality. But it's just, I do a limited number of transactions. I'm not this high volume person who's doing, selling a widget and selling 1 million a year. It's quality, smaller amount of people. But just curious how you're kind of handling that in today's world, because especially with COVID, when this is being recorded right now, a lot's changed. And I know you do a lot more virtual and online stuff, which is, awesome.
Yeah, so I'll touch on all of that. But first, I'm lucky because I've been doing virtual online coaching for over 2.5 years now. So I transitioned personal training into online coaching a long time ago. And I was lucky because there was a boom for online coaches when all of this happened, because people needed help and guidance and people were scared and they needed assurance and accountability. So obviously my mission has always been to help people incorporate fitness into their lifestyle in a really fun way and a new way. enjoy what they're doing and feel strong and empowered with it, which is really cool. But then with quarantine and everyone being inside, social media is the best way to motivate and inspire people. And yes, you can say that like there's sometimes negatives from social media. Like there is a lot of comparison, especially in the fitness industry and like modeling, beauty, all of that. I've done fitness modeling. I know how it is. But if you show up every single day as who you are, sharing both your wins and your losses and your fears and your successes, people are gonna gain inspiration from that. And I've been doing that for 6 years. So I didn't always have a big following, but I always showed up on social media. During quarantine, at the stay at home, I was like, this is my opportunity to really change people's lives. Like they need someone to look up to, someone who's going to stay fit and healthy even when they don't have a gym, someone who's going to still stay on their nutrition plan even when they can't go to the grocery store every day. And so that was my thought process going into quarantine. And I'm definitely an optimistic thinker. I always have been. I always kind of look at the positives of situations. So even though this was scary and it was hard and everyone was worried about how's this going to impact my business, how is this going to impact my financial life, how is this going to impact my family, there's a lot of scary things, but if you can focus on those positives, it makes a bigger impact.
No, absolutely. And I think anytime there is a kind of a recession like this, or it's a big opportunity for people who are willing to just go out there and grind and be positive. Like some of the biggest businesses in the world have been started in these down times right now, because some of these Goliaths out there, think of them as an aircraft carrier, and they can't adapt and shift and change trajectory as quickly as someone who's small, agile, and like myself or yourself, who can just adapt.
Yeah. And it's so cool with a business like online coaching or real estate, because there's not as many like upfront costs or fears about like losing as much. So you're like, I have not as much to lose, but way more to gain if you just keep working and grinding and pushing. And if your goal is to help people to change their lives, like you're always going to be motivated. So people ask like, how do you stay motivated all the time? Like, how do you show up on social media every day? How do you post on every single day? I'm not always motivated, but I know that I'm going to make a difference. Even if I post one story or one post or reply to 2 DMs, like I'll make a difference in someone's day. And that's kind of what keeps me accountable, I guess, more than motivated, because quarantine hit everybody in one way or another. Like I definitely used it to its advantage of being at home and having more time to work and focus on myself. But it was definitely a hard adaptation for every single person. But yeah, with social media and growing like that, and growing a following, a lot of that for me came through networking. And I mean, I was in the fitness industry and I had a small account for a long time. And then about 2 years ago, I connected with a really cool company called DateFit, which is actually a dating app for people interested in fitness. And I was contacted to be a trainer for them for events that they were holding. And one of the first opportunities I got was to be a trainer on a fitness cruise. And it was so random.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like out of left field. It was actually a CrossFit cruise, and I'm not a CrossFitter. And I was asked by this company to teach a class. And I was like, hell yeah. And once I got on this cruise, I began to meet so many different people who I didn't know were really, really big on social media. Like I would consider myself way lower on the social media totem pole than some of these incredible athletes and CrossFitters and people way up there. And so I love people and I love working out. So I pretty much did both of those things this entire time and networked and created friendships. And then in Southern California, it's so easy to meet those type of people and make more connections. And so I started working out with all these different people, putting myself out there. I kind of had a goal to create this account on social media that would be just like a mishmash of everything I love. So fitness, friends, travel, exploring, taking risks, putting yourself in hard situations, and sharing all of it. And it paid off.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome. And, here in San Diego, where are some of, the favorite spots for you? Because it is such an active community, between people just biking and all the trails and just everything. Where are some of your favorite spots here in San Diego where you go with friends and work out, or just in
Yeah.
general?
So I have a couple different gyms that I go to that I really love. The main gym I go to, because I live in Pacific Beach, so the main gym I go to is World's Gym, TG, the gym.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other, I have like 4 gym memberships, but I go to Fit Athletic in Mission Beach. And then I have a membership at Boulevard Fitness, which is closer to downtown. So wherever you live, I'm giving you gyms in your area.
Yeah.
All circular. But I absolutely love going to like the little beaches by Sunset Cliffs and just exploring like any type of beaches. I'm down. I'm such a beach girl. I absolutely love it. With friends, I mean, it's generally just spending a lot of time outside. Since I live in Pacific Beach, it's easy to walk like anywhere, which is
Yeah.
really restaurant wise. I absolutely love, one of my favorite restaurants. My go-to is always Poke Chop in PB. So the best poke, in my opinion, in all of San Diego. And I think I've had
Which one? What is it? Poke Shop?
Chop, CHOP. Poke.
Huh. I have not been there, but I will definitely. I'm like a poke fanatic too as well.
I've had like every poke in San Diego, and this is the best.
Yeah, very interesting.
You can hold me to that, because I promise.
I will definitely be heading over there sometime this week, because now like I have a poke craving that will not. I have to itch.
Yeah, I mean that happens to me daily. So, and it's fine. And so it's dangerous. But where else? Everbowl. I love smoothie bowls. So amazing. And the owner of Everbowl, Jeff Fenster, is actually in San Diego County too. So he's an amazing person to be inspired by from local entrepreneurs. And then what else? Second Nature in PB is also really good.
Okay. Yeah, those are all kind of the better, healthier options too, which I love. And you can spend just as much, going on a drive-through, to Carl's Jr. or something, and it's $10-12 versus going to like Poke Chop, which I'm sure like you're getting a good bowl and it's relatively the same price. Plus, you're supporting a local. I'm huge on supporting local small businesses, and that was one of the main reasons I originally kind of created WazUp San Diego. Is it's a lot of small entrepreneurial type people. We are kind of venturing outside San Diego as well, especially kind of with what COVID was happening on. But it's crazy not to.
Yeah. Yeah, supporting local businesses, I think, especially right now, is so important, especially restaurants. People are having a hard time staying open because they can't fund the food or employees that they're getting. So now that everything's opening back up, hopefully it'll get easier. But I think supporting at this time is very important.
No, absolutely. And if you have kind of just, one or two pieces of advice, I know there's no kind of magic pill to make everything, and everybody, you have to kind of create a program around them. But I think there's some just basic building blocks. What would be like the one or two pieces of advice that, are pretty standard for, any client?
Yeah, I mean, literally any single person, drink a gallon of water a day.
Yeah.
That's going to make such a huge difference in how your body looks and feels. You're going to have more energy. Your joints are going to feel better. You're probably going to want to move your body more throughout the day.
Yeah, because you have to go pee all the time. Like part of it. I drink a ridiculous amount. The first thing I do every single morning that I wake up, I go, like we have one of the Colligan machines, which I love. Like I go, we moved out for a couple of weeks where we were doing some like remodeling. And we didn't have the Colligan thing. I'm like, I saw myself drinking less water, but it's going over, drinking, half warm, half cold, throw some lemon in it, and start the coffee. Damn.
Yep. It jumpstarts your metabolism, energy, everything. So drink water. I know it's a pain in the butt sometimes for some people, but it's such a game changer. And then especially if you're listening to this in San Diego, just literally walk outside. It's going to make a huge difference in your energy, mood, and motivation. Getting outside has so many benefits. Walking has so many benefits. It'll help increase your energy expenditure as well if you are trying to lose weight. And if you're somebody who doesn't feel they're at a point where you can run a couple miles or get to the gyms when they open, just walk. like it still makes a difference. I think the biggest broad piece of advice I can say is don't feel like you need to have an all or nothing mindset when it comes to your fitness goals. Working out for 30 minutes is still working out. You don't have to say, I don't have an hour, so I can't do it. You know, you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, go on a jog, go for a
10
walk.
minutes.
10 minutes,
like literally. And that's, I find myself doing that because I'm on the phone way too much on a daily basis. And it's just like putting in headphones and walking the dog, you know, getting outside and getting in that sun is invigorating. I'm a walker and talker. So like I do laps around my house talking, but why not get outside? Like it's beautiful out.
Exactly.
We pay a shit ton of money to live here in San Diego. So you might as well capitalize on the sunshine.
Absolutely. Yeah. I walk around the block while I do client calls, you know, like every little bit counts and it adds up. That's why all or nothing mindsets kind of hold people back from reaching those big fitness goals, but it makes such a huge difference when you can kind of step away from that and just realize where you want to put your intention and energy every day.
No, I like that. It even just sounds like doing a lot of little small things, like little small walks here and there kind of add up when you kind of accumulate, you know, all of those together, and people are like, well, I didn't do anything, but sometimes you are. And what big believer in kind of keystone habits. And once you start taking those actions, it starts to make other things that you want to make other changes in your other life. It's like, well, now I'm going to, you know, stop drinking so much sugar, you know, sodas and so many things like that. And it just kind of expands out. And it's doing it slowly versus just that cold turkey, just, I'm done with it.
No. Yeah, if you say I am never going to drink a beer again, that's not going to happen. You're setting yourself up for failure. You say I'm only going to have 2 beers twice a week, that's way more sustainable, or even once every other day. Like, you have to be able to take those small steps in order to make big changes, because habits are easy. Giant lifestyle changes overnight, that's hard. But if you make it into a habit and just start changing those small things every day, it's going to feel easy in like 3 weeks. I promise.
Yeah. And then they layer them on each other. There's a great book. I think it's called Keystone Habits by Charles Duhigg. I'm not sure if you've ever read it, but and that's what it was. It was this one person wanted to. I think they started by just exercising for 30 minutes a day, and then the next thing you know, like their entire life turned around because that one keystone habit, and it just slowly built and built and built.
Absolutely. And I think too, for a lot of people, it's just getting started that feels so intimidating and hard. And the thing about exercise that's so cool is, yes, you have to be self-motivated to get started, but once you start feeling some of the benefits of working out regularly, like, you're going to feel so much more confident in your lifestyle. You're going to probably show it better in your relationships, show it better for your family, show it better in your work environment. Some of my have felt so much more confident. They've shown up better at work. They've gotten raises, which obviously better financials, makes you feel better overall, makes you feel less stressed. It's kind of just all plays off that one thing. Like you said, that one keystone habit. Start moving, start making it a part of your lifestyle, and then it's going to feel easier. Then the exercise won't feel like a chore.
Yeah. And part of it is just, I'm not sure if I listened to quite a bit of podcasts, but Andy Frisella says it a lot. It's like keeping that promise to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you have the 90 day hard, or 75 hard, which so that's like on the extreme level.
Supplement is first form. So so Andy Frisella is amazing. I look up to him so much as a business owner and as a man. Like, he's incredible. But
100%.
Yeah, I've actually done a 90-day hard, but I think I could. I don't think it would be that bad for me, honestly. It's pretty close to my lifestyle.
Yeah, I like to go out with friends. Like, I don't drink a lot, but like when we go and having a glass of wine or having a beer and doing things, and I don't want to, not trying to make excuses by any means.
No,
but the purpose of it. Go ahead.
Clients to have one free meal a week, or one meal where they don't track and they just go out and enjoy a couple glasses of wine and a meal with friends, because otherwise you're not going to want to stick to it the rest of the week. You're just going to be thinking about that the whole time, about like, when can I have my free meal, or when can I have 2 glasses of wine, and it'll be in your head more than if you just have it, Yeah,
I agree. But I 100% see where he's coming from, where like if you commit to yourself for 75 days and you complete that, you're like, fuck, like, excuse my language, it's my own, whatever. But like, you showing yourself that, like, when you put your mind to something, that you can actually do it. Like, it comes down to just what we were talking about.
And I think all entrepreneurs know that if you're dedicated to something enough, you're going to get it done. And people just believe in themselves enough to make that happen. But if you believe in yourself, it sounds so cheesy when you say, like, if you don't believe you can eat healthy or track macros or work out, you won't be able to do it. But anyone is